Okay then, a great pleasure to be with you on a Tuesday afternoon. Hope you're keeping well. This is Peter with you on my channel, Peter's Racing Tips. Great pleasure to be with you, and it's fantastic to have you with me. Looking forward to a big midweek maximum mayhem for the bookmakers. No, seriously, we're looking for a big madness with 4 bets in a lucky 15 from Kempton and Southwell. One of the bets at Southwell is a 20-1 shot, and if you'd have followed me yesterday on the line, well, you had a really near miss, didn't you? Only had one bet, 25-1, backed into 6-1. The gamble of the day just got beat ahead in a photo finish by its stable companion, a 100-1 shot. I don't think we need to mention anything about that other than the word gutted. But there we go. It's still a winning bet overall, 25-1 to your money each way. Can't be bad. Job done. But that's what I'm all about on this channel, picking big price winners. And I've got 4 very, very interesting selections tomorrow. 2 of them at Southwell, including a 20-1 poke, which can win. Tell you about that in a minute, along with a horse at 11-2, trained by one of the sharpest trainers in the business, who I've landed some big touches with on his horses, I can tell you. And I think tomorrow will be another one. And then up at Kempton, or down at Kempton, no matter where you are, I've got 2 horses there which are very strong indeed. One's about a 7 or 8 chance, and the other's about a 4 or 5-1. So add them all together, you've got yourself 4 very, very nice bets indeed. Very juicy midweek mayhem madness, and all 4 coming up in just 1 second. So I hope you're keeping well and ready to go. I'm going to keep this as short as I can, but there are 4 horses to get through, and I want to mention a couple of other things as well. But let's first of all start let's go to Southwell for this big 25-1 shot, shall we? Yeah, let's get a real rip snorter into you. 425, that's a rip snorter, isn't it? 425 at Southwell, or Southwell, whichever you want to say. I say Southwell, and I think it is Southwell. But in the 425 at Southwell, number 13. I hope it's not unlucky for you. I think it's got a really good chance. It's called Variety Island. The price doesn't put me off, makes me more interested in it because these big prices make big profits. And number 13, Variety Island, trained by Simon Whittaker and ridden by Phil Dennis. Quite unfashionable couple, these two. Phil Dennis is the regular pilot of this 4-year-old. And he rode it last time up at Catterick when the horse ran really well, although it only finished 7th of 15. It did run really well. And I think it's got a very good chance, I really do. Drawn 1 tomorrow, and I don't think that's going to be a problem. In the 425 at Southwell, I'm not going to go on too much about it because there's not too much to say about it other than I think the horse is in a little bit better form than it looks on paper. 8th of 14 at Newcastle, the time before that. But last time up, Variety Island showed, and I've watched the race a few times on VT videotape, that it was just coming through, and it just started to make his run, and the jockey had no other option but to pull it back, and he just had nowhere to go, and he had to pull it up, and it lost the valuable grounds, and then he had to bring it home in its own time. So it's been dropped £1 in the weights for that run. I think that's pretty generous, really, of this Hester, because I think it probably would have finished 2 or 3 places in front of the eventual 7th, what it did. And I think going down in grade as well, because that race was a 0-65, and this one's a 0-60. So it's come down in grade, it's come down in the weights. It's better than it shows on paper last time up. Definitely would have finished closer to the final positions than 7th of 15, and only got beat a few lengths. It wasn't a long, it didn't get beat too far. Went off at 18-1 last time, and I think, he's going to be about 20s now. He is 20s at the moment. And I think it's well worth an each-way support. And that's what I'm going to say. Number 13 then, Variety Island is the one to be on. And each way is the recommendation. 14 runners go to post. Bookmakers paying first 3. But I believe a couple of bookmakers are pricing up first 4. So a pretty good value bet there each way. 20-1. Same as last night's 25-1 place. Backed into 6-1 and nearly got the prize, didn't it? It really do. So I'm putting 4 horses up to you today, all each way backable, and certainly worth backing individually. And if you fancy putting them in a roll up, a Yankee or a Lucky 15, I certainly would not blame you. Well, I'm going to give you these 2 Kempton bets in one moment. One of them 7 or 8-1, and the other one I think's a real good thing. I really do. It's with a stable that when they have the money on, they generally don't leave it behind. And I think the money will be on tomorrow, and I don't think they'll leave it behind, if you see what I mean. I do like it an awful lot. However, before we go there, we have to stay at Southwell. We have to stay at Southwell because there's a horse running in the 5 o'clock that I'm all over like a rash. It's trained by one of the most sharpest trainers in the business, one of them for sure, if not the, but he's certainly one of them. Same as Tony Carroll last night. Very, very warm cookie. And a marvellous trainer who does nothing, something with nothing really, pulls it out like a magic out of a top hat. And it's the same for this trainer now. His name is John Butler, not Stan Butler off on the buses, not Butler get his pass out of it. It's John Butler. It's ridden by Connor Beasley. The horse is number 6. It's called Double the Trouble. Double the Trouble. Now, the form figures won't tell you too much. 755074. And as I always say to you, it's the weighing room number of the fish and chip man at Kempton Park, or even Southall, because it's running at Southall. It could be the Kempton Park weighing room man, or the fish ship man. I better get on. Number 6, Double the Trouble. Don't miss it. It's off a mark of 6.0 blind 60. John Butler knows the time of day. He got this horse off a nice trainer, a good trainer called Lucy Wadham. Now, Lucy's a good trainer, Mrs. Wadham, no doubt about that. But John Butler is a real warm cookie. And if he gets a horse and tries to get a horse off another trainer, you can bet your bottom dollar he'll improve it. He just gets every ounce of it, and then he places them strategically. He puts them in the right races at the right time on the right ground, and everything is right. And that's what it's all about. Tick, 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 tick. And he is the master trainer. Number 6. It's called Double the Trouble. John Butler trains it. Connor Beasley rides it. And that'll do for me. And that will do for you in that race. It's priced right now at 11-2. You may get a bit of 6-1. But if they go for it and the money goes on, they are a gambling yard. It could end up about 5-2, 11-4. And it'll probably win by, well, like that. Pulling a coal truck. So number 6, Double the Trouble. Get on early. Book early. The old Fred Ponting. Double guess John Butler. I'm saying he's going for it tomorrow. And I'm on. Number 6, Double the Trouble. It looks absolutely perfect setup. And I don't think he could not say he's planned this, because I think they have, because it looks up so perfect. The race is very weak, and I think he can win. No question about that. Okay, so let's go to Kempton for the final 2 bets of Wednesday. And then I'm back to you on Wednesday night at 6 o'clock for Thursday's action. Now then, let's go to Kempton for this horse I'm talking about, which I think is a good thing. It runs in the 8:30. Then I'm going to give you the last bet, which is a 7-1 chance, coming down from the north, which again has got a great chance. And I think that, to be honest, I fancy that as well. So I fancy all these 4. So I'm going to back them individually, and I'm going to have a multiple as well, because I'll be surprised if we don't get a couple up here. And if you get 2 or 3 of these up, it'll be a nice 20-1 minimum pickup, if not more, 33-1. So looks good to me. I think this will win this one. I do like it. I think it'll win. Whether it will or not, I don't know, but I think it will. It's number 2. It's called Metro's on Fire. Metro on Fire. Metro's on Fire. It's number 2 anyway. Trained by a combination trainer, William Muir and Chris Grassick. These 2 have got together in the last couple of seasons, and they're really starting to make hay. And this grey gelding can add to the winner's roll of honour of these 2 trainers of combined forces. Now, Muir's been around for a long time, but since Grassick's been with him, he really has turned the tide, really, in no uncertain manner. The last 2 horses these have sent out have both won. They won with Hedge Fund and they won with Honeymooner on the last day of August and the 1st of September. So these are a winning combination trainer to be reckoned with. They've had 16 winners this year already from 130 runners, 12%, going along very, very nicely. And this one looks absolutely all over a winner to me. 4th of 15, last time up, behind a horse called Silver Samurai. Now, I know all about that because I gave Silver Samurai free, and it won at 17-2 to my Telegram channel players. Free of charge, 17-2 on a Saturday, a couple of weeks ago, 19th of August. Silver Samurai bolted up. This horse was 4th in that race, but it had a lot of unluckiness in running. It's not very good Queen's English, is it? You've got to speak like I do, you know what I mean? Metro's on Fire. Very unlucky in running. I'm not sure if it had won and beat my selection, Silver Samurai, that day, but it would have gone close. I've got to be honest, it would have gone close. So I think this one's a winner without a penalty. It hasn't gone up in the weights. It's off a mark of 85, stayed at that rate, 85. And that race at Newmarket that day behind Silver Samurai was absolutely mustard. It was a red hot race, I tell you. And we got the winner. I got the winner, 17-2, free of charge to everyone in the club, free of charge to my telegrams. And here's one free of charge to you. Metro's on Fire, number 2. A winner without a penalty in the 8:30 at KP Kempton Park. I love it. I love that horse. I do. If it goes out to 5-1, back it each way. Even if 4-1, I can't see it being out of the frame. So you only minimise your losses even at 4-1. A lot of people say don't back each way less than 5-1. That's not really That's just an old wives' tale, old adage. That's not right. This is good value each way, even at 4-1. But I'll leave it to you. You're over 18. Do what you want. Do what you want. That's what I say. All I'm here to do is tell you what I'm doing. And I'm backing it each way. And I think it'll be in the 3. And you've got the concession. If it wins, jackpot Charlie. Metro's on fire. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but it looks like you do. Number 4 anyway. I'm all over it. And if it doesn't win, I'll be disappointed and somewhat surprised. Okay. Final bet then before I pop off and go and... have a cold shower. It's warm, isn't it? Everywhere in the country is absolutely burning up. Goodness knows what's happening out there. And I just hope our horses are as hot as the heat. Hot as the heat. And I got a feeling we're going to clean up tomorrow. They really look good, these 4, including that 20-1 Variety Island at Southall. Anyway, 9 o'clock at Kempton Park tomorrow night. It's a 7 furlong dash. It's a long way for David O'Meara to take his Bay Gelding 3-year-old concert boy to the track. It's a long way home. They won't get back much before 1 o'clock in the morning, but I think it could be worth it, and they'll be singing and dancing when they get home. It's number 1. It's called Concert Boy. It's in the 9 o'clock at Kempton, ridden by Jason Watson. I've got a lot of time for him. A very, very classy jockey, very, very determined. And I think this horse who's got the cheek pieces on for the first time off a mark of 69. It's the lowest mark it's ever run off, 69, and it's in the lowest grade it's ever run in, 0 to 68. I've really, really liked the horse. I thought it ran really well at last time up at Ayr in quite a hot contest ridden by Ben Robinson. Watson has rode this horse before. He rode it four times back. 4 times back. There's another piece of English here. The Queen's English has gone completely out the window. Well, the King's English. But in the 1st of July, Watson was on board and it comes 7th of 9 and it was a bit of a mismatched race, really. The pace was all over the place. Previous to that, it comes 2nd at Haydock, which was a good run. But it's dropped in the weights. It's £4 lower now with cheek pieces on to concentrate the forces. And number 1, Concert Boy, in the 9 o'clock at Kempton, carries my shekels, my 1 or 2 quids. I'm banging on that. So you've got Metro's on Fire, 8:30 Kempton. You've got Concert Boy, half an hour later, the 9 o'clock. You'll be sweating on that if you've got the other 3s up. Sweating on it like a bingo, innit? Like on its own, number 3. House. Anyway, 13, Variety Island in the 425 at Southall each way, 20-1, but they can win. Last night showed you that. And Double or Trouble for John Butler. Get this bus out of here, Butler. Number 6, Double or Trouble in the 5 o'clock at Southall. That'll do for me, and that'll do for you. I'll see you at 6 tomorrow night. Go get 'em.